welcome to another episode of Tall Girl. Tall Girl, Small World, right? Anyway, so I'm going to be doing the review today. I'm going to go ahead and skip my intro because I'm going to get right into it. So Tall Girl 2 premiered yesterday. As reference, I am 5'10", because I know the first thing people are going to say before I even start this review is just that you can't even relate. You don't have size 16 Nikes. But anyway, so I watched the movie yesterday. As soon as it came out, I was so enthused to watch a movie that, identifies my struggle in high school, back in the day. It's been a couple of decades. But I was definitely happy to see that there's representation. I'm going to go ahead and start with the height hierarchy and why it's important, right? So the height hierarchy, thank you very much for asking me. I made a couple of notes here. So the height hierarchy is basically how the world views us. So I'm going to say that so people won't start and being like, you're part of the problem. No, I'm explaining the problem. I don't make the rules. Okay, so we have first up, 5'6" to 5'7" are lying to themselves. Pretty much 5'6" to 5'7" isn't really considered tall. 5'7", if you really have long legs, you're kind of accepted, but you're not considered tall. And then we have the 5'8" to 5'11", which I fall into, is basically the model tall, or like they like to say is the acceptable tall. I don't like that. I'm just letting you guys know what people say. Basically, it's like, okay, you're tall, but yes. But you're tall, but yes, I can, if I'm 5'9", 5'10", I can rock with you, right? As a dude be saying. But then you have 6 feet, which is considered, to me, tall women. Now, I know this sounds stupid because it's like, okay, 2 more inches, you would have been in that hierarchy too, but I'm just letting you guys know that I appreciate the fact that the star, beautiful, the beautiful main star is 6'2". I really appreciate that they didn't have somebody be 5'8" or even 5'9", be like, hey, well, I go through these struggles. Like, I know you go through struggles, but I feel like 6 feet I feel like they treat women over 6 feet a little bit different than the acceptable tall, but I think that was very important that they had her as the main actress. I know there was a lot of slack for the first movie where they felt like it was just her being tall was her entire personality. This one, they focused more on her anxiety, which I feel like everybody has that little voice in their head. Oh yeah, spoiler alert. But I feel like everybody has that voice in their head that's telling you like, no one's gonna watch your YouTube. No one's gonna, you don't deserve that. You only got that because you're pretty. You only got that because someone felt bad for you. We all have that, a little bit of imposter syndrome inside of our head as well. So I'm glad they touched on that because the biggest bully is in the mirror. So the con, now let's go into the cons of the movie. First of all, like I said, the pros is that they actually had somebody who's tall, and the Swedish dude from the first movie, they held him accountable, and they didn't let his pretty privilege get him into basically advanced forgiveness, because people who are attractive, like people have a tendency to forgive them a little bit quicker because of how they look like. So I like how in the first half of the movie, at least, they were able to hold them accountable, because a lot of people don't. When you're good looking, people don't hold you accountable for your misdoings. That's why the popular Mean Girl still is at the top, even though she's not likable. I've never understood that concept in high school. So one of my main problems that they have, they have the main character, I believe the actor, he's actually from 13 Reasons, I think the final season. I think is Jean-Louis Castellanos. I'll have to look again. But he's pretty amazing actor. They have him playing the classic side wheel that they tend to do in sequels. Like, that's the only thing I didn't really like, was the fact that I was just like, oh my God, watch she's gonna basically play the classic side wheel that makes her realize that she really loves her boyfriend. It's definitely a common motif in a lot of these movies, but like I said, these movies were written for teenagers, so I don't judge them off of that, but I'm just letting you know that we're catching on to your games. The second movie they always have some, certain demographic that they choose to play the side wheel, and I'm just like, why y'all do him like that? Because I actually like this personality. He's very patient. The real villain in this movie is no communication. Okay, so the first half of the video, I'm going to go into the movie, and then the second half, I'm going to show you my struggles with being a tall woman. So the real villain was communication. Like Dunkers, that's his nickname, Dunkelman, right? I feel like we're gonna go. I have a list of like everybody's grievances here. So we're gonna start with Dunkers because he's like the main villain. Him and his non-communication. I can say from my experience, not to put my business out there, but Dunkers is not the type of person you want to be with long term, because he will keep punishing you over and over again for not choosing him in the first place. That's why it's kind of rare that men get out of the friend zone, which, you know, that's another video for another day. But that's why it's rare for men to get out of the friend zone, because when they do get out the friend zone, mentally psychologically they're still in the friend zone, where they feel like they kind of are bitter that you didn't choose them, you know. And like if they're in the friend zone, they've kind of placed you on this pedestal, like the Swedish dude's sister said in the movie as well. You do end up, which is very dangerous, you end up putting this person on the pedestal that anything they do wrong. So who was I gonna put? Like, I feel like he's still mad that she didn't choose him from the first movie, and just in general, she's never chosen him first. Like, even in this movie, she's putting her career of being the lead for Bye Bye Birdie as #1, and so he feels like he's being placed on the back burner again. So I feel like that's kind of what happened. Jodie, I don't really have any problems with her in this movie. I feel like they did pretty well with her character. I mean, with the anxiety attack, I remember feeling that before, you know, like with people putting so much pressure on you to be perfect, to be this, be that. And like I said, I can correlate with that, but she didn't do anything wrong. I want to know, where are they finding her shoes at? Because I wear a size 11 and it's very hard to find shoes, and they're able to find her sneakers left and right. Please drop the website. Farida's parents, Farida's her best friend, the one who basically, she's a designer, and her parents were saying, oh, let's get serious or whatever. And I'm just like, honestly, as someone who was a former people pleaser, you know, we have our meetings Mondays and Wednesdays. I can definitely say for sure I correlated with that too, because I feel like when you're a people pleaser, you just you feel anxiety as well, because that you're not fulfilling what people think of you. Even as a designer, I mean, like, you don't know. All she needs is one. You only need one person to believe in you, one person to go viral, and you have a career now. Farida's hairstyles, she was serving looks. It was looks after looks after looks. Okay, she was serving looks after looks. I was just like, okay, Farida, okay, girl. Like, she was serving looks. The only thing I didn't like was the fact that her and Swedish dude kind of ended up together, and I am not a fan of a certain demographic getting leftovers. So that part I was a little side-eye about, but they ended up working out together to me, I think. So I think that was pretty dope. But overall with the movie, I like the fact that they can show that it's not awkward for a tall girl to lean down and kiss a short dude. What's awkward is people thinking it's awkward. I feel like people have a tendency, when you're in a relationship, they kind of, in their head, pick the person that they feel like you should be with. So with him being short, her being tall. But in conclusion, I don't want them together. I really think it's a horrible idea for them to be together long term, because the moment she messes up again, which, like I said, with him breaking up with her, saying, oh, okay, well, then we're broken up, her kissing the dude that same night, which, like I said, women who look like, I'm not trying to say nothing, but the main character with Jodie, I was just like, women who look like that, that's not a bag you want to fumble. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but like, just like look like that, and just like with her personality as well. Like, someone who has a good natured personality, is amazing, has a good spirit. They're not people you want to fumble, especially in this climate. You want to hold on for dear life, and he was just kind of like, I'm mad right now, let me go, blah, blah, you know. But definitely the true villain of the movie was communication. So I'm gonna go into the second half here, and basically I want to talk about like difficulties I faced as a tall woman. You know, I'm only 5'10", which I know a lot of people say that's kind of not really like, that's like really tall or whatever. I think it depends on where you're at. But I've met women who are like 6'2" who called me their child, and I'm just like, hey girl. But But it's just one of those things where it's like, I think the hardest part, and I'll wrap up right quick, is I think the hardest part is just knowing that people don't care, if that makes any sense. Like, as in, like, people will gaslight you into thinking like, oh, being tall is not that hard. I was like, I know when I go to a store, it's gonna stop at 9. And if it's in size 10 or 11, it's sneakers. It's a random track shoe. It's a random 90s fashion. If I go on a website, it's gonna stop at 9. It's gonna stop at size 10, 9 shoes. Outfit wise, like, I feel like tops are easier to find, but pants, forget about it. Like, I have to literally, like, my jeans that I have, I hold on to them for dear, since it's Valentine's Day. I hold on to it this is how I hold on to the jeans the 3 jeans I found for my 36.5 inseam. I just hold on to it like this. You know, average pants are made for 33 inches. I have 36.5 inch inseam. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I think that's the hardest part, I would say, is that something as simple as clothes. I know clothes isn't that, but I think the arguments for sure, if you guys want me to make a separate video for all the incidents I've had, I would probably fill up an hour. But I could definitely say for sure, like, one of the main stories is the fact that I remember I was at a Cuban shop, right? And they were just like, oh, what do you want to eat, or blah, blah, blah. I was just like, okay. I was like, what did I say? I think I said rice and beans. I don't eat pork. So I think I said un poquito pollo. Like, I just wanted a little bit of chicken, arroz con pollo. And I'm sitting here just minding my business. And somebody, this older gentleman comes up. I'm minding my business. I have my heels on because I always wear heels for the most part, unless I'm going somewhere active. I have my heels on, and the heels are like 3-4 inches. So now I'm a record-breaking insecurity for people who aren't tall, right? So I'm standing there, minding my business, talking to God, because I'm so close. And the dude comes up, he's like, you used to play basketball, didn't you? I was like, Lord, it's a Tuesday. Please don't test my patience today. And he was like, you used to play basketball, didn't you? I was just like, no, I don't play basketball. Are you sure? I thought I saw you on the team. I was like, no, I don't. No, I don't play basketball. I've never played basketball a day in my life. Ran a little bit of track here and there, but I do not play basketball. Are you sure? And mind you, I'm living here, and this is like the slowest arroz con pollo I've ever seen in my life. I'm just like, when are they gonna make this? I was like, when are they gonna finish making this? Like, for some reason, people kind of like come at you and you cannot go anywhere. But I was like, no, I don't play basketball. And then he just kind of just walks away shaking his head. I was just like, I'm so sorry. I'm a disappointment of me not joining the WNBA. But my thing is, in conclusion, I feel like, should there be a Tall Girls 3? I think it's run its course. I don't really see a point of having a third movie. I'm not sure if I would want to see a third movie, because I feel like the first one kind of touched base on all the awkwardness and how people stare at you when you walk by. You kind of have to grow up a little bit quicker because everybody's looking at you. But other than that, I don't think there should be a third movie, but you know, maybe they might stretch something that I can't see, but I don't really see the purpose of a third movie. I feel like the second one was kind of like a nice conclusion. They shouldn't be together. I'm just telling you from my season experience. I'm telling you, men like that long term, you do not want them in your life, okay? But definitely don't forget to subscribe, share, and definitely leave a comment down there.
Perfect.